Welcome back to Hornbill TV's Prime Time with Ngullie. Ladies and gentlemen, the Nagaland State Assembly elections and its aftermath, the months following that, and then the consequent flurry of state and regional socio-political upheavals had kept all of us on our toes. We had a lot going on even in the news channel here, the news reporting space across the state and the region, and of course in the community, that we felt it was best to hold the show for now. We were very busy, and unfortunately because of all these events we could not really continue with the show. So for those of you who are in this show late, this show tries to examine important news events beyond what is being reported. It is also a show where we look back at the significant news events of the week. I hope you guys have been keeping wonderful. April and May were exceptionally tumultuous for the region and for the state. Yes, the first big event was the Nagaland elections. Then ethnic violence broke out in Manipur between members of the Meitei and the tribal communities in the hill regions of Manipur, which at this point is still sensitive to a certain level. There are also quite interesting other news events too. We will be examining them together. So let's check out the top news of the week. Manipur is understood to be gradually returning to normalcy after a week of terror, bloodshed and arson, and of course destruction of property. On May 15, more than 5,800 people from Manipur, mostly belonging to the Chin, Kuki and Mizo community, reportedly fled to take shelter in various districts of neighboring Mizoram, claiming that tribal people can no longer exist under the Manipur government. Again, 10 Kuki MLAs, including 7 from the BJP, on Friday urged the center to create a separate administration in the wake of the violent clashes in Manipur. As we go on air, the death toll is being put at about 71 people, 230 people injured, and of course about 1,700 houses are said to buildings are said to have been destroyed, and an estimated 45,000 people are said to have been displaced since the violence broke out in May 3. And on May 17, the Supreme Court on Wednesday pulled up the Manipur High Court for its recent judgment calling for inclusion of the Meitei community in the scheduled tribe list. The Supreme Court said the High Court's judgment was factually incorrect and against the principles laid down by the Supreme Court. And of course, this statement was made by the Constitution Bench of the Supreme Court. So this is in regard to the classification of communities such as scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. The Chief Justice of India reportedly remarked that the bench has to stay the order of the Manipur High Court, but of course it did not do so later on. It is completely factually wrong, and the bench gave time to remedy the error according to the reports that were received here. Citizens of Dimapur and the adjoining areas such as the district of Chumugidima and of course Newland have been feeling a little unhappy for weeks now over the ever increasing price of meat, especially pork and chicken. Let's run over the story a bit. The Pork Butchers Union of Dimapur had informed earlier that it had decided to open all the pork shops and allow selling of pork starting from May 8th at a higher rate because the state government of Nagaland had failed to address their issues. We'll get to that later on. The union closed down all the pork shops in Dimapur from April 24th, protesting what it said was the Assam government's ban on transportation of swine through the state of Assam from March 13, 2023. So asked why pork was being sold at rupees 300 per kilo when the DMC had set the retail price of pork at rupees 280, The president of the union, according to reports, said that the meat dealers had no option because they had to pay taxes to 7 to 8 underground groups. So again, after the poultry union of Dimapur declared indefinite ban on the sale of poultry in Dimapur from May 17 onwards, the DMC had also indicated that a temporary arrangement could be made to increase the prices considering the demands made by the union. The decision would be made after studying the prevailing wholesale rates in the border towns of Assam. The DMC administrator had informed the media earlier. Early on, the Dimapur Municipal Council had issued an order on May 13 fixing the prices for the sale of broiler chicken live at rupees 160 per kilo, broiler dressed at rupees 250 per kilo, layer and Philister live at rupees 200 per kilo, and Ngullie live at rupees 300 per kilo. However, the union claimed that the DMC's revised rates were not in accordance with the wholesale rates in Assam, where poultry was being purchased at rupees 180 to rupees 190 per kilogram for live chicken and rupees 300 for dressed chicken. Now, there are a lot of questions here, ladies and gentlemen. As a citizen, how many times will the authorities increase the price of meat, and how many times will the municipal authorities concede to the blackmail tactics of certain business communities in Dimapur or anywhere else in Nagaland? I must add here with full conviction that the increase in prices, whether it's for meat, chicken or vegetable or even auto rickshaw fares, they are always manipulated and realized by the syndicates by blackmailing the community and the authorities. You threaten them with bans and bans, and you threaten them with all sorts of protest signals so that the authorities will concede to your demands, not thinking that the citizens are the one who have to pay for the commodities that they sell, and which they have to buy it at higher rates. Some people say that these days the food that we buy is costlier than the average monthly salary that we receive every month. It is very difficult for the common man to survive here. The first sign is the so-called shortage. Then there will come a ban. Then will come the lifting of the ban after some games are played with the authorities, and there is some kind of manipulation tactics to manipulate the prices in their favor. I think this needs to stop. I don't know when will the municipal authorities take into confidence the public and not the meat dealers or the business people before they set their prices. I think this is important instead of consulting only with the business communities, because they are never going to say, oh, decrease the prices, because they are business people and their aim is profit only. And I think it is important for the municipal authorities to get in touch with the public, also get a pulse of their opinions and conduct surveys, or maybe study the market first and fix the prices. Otherwise, this trend of always having to increase essential commodity prices is going to affect us greatly later on. And I think sometimes it makes you feel bad to be actually going out and buying meat, because these are commodities that you cannot afford now, and there is no one to speak for the common people here. And I think the municipal authorities are the right people to speak for the people. They should not be speaking for the business community here. So let's hope they actually create a system to control corrupt and illegal business practices, instead of creating smoke screens which are always in favor of the business sections. I think this is something I should emphasize. There has rarely been a time when vegetable sellers, meat dealers and the auto rickshaws have followed the law, followed what has been written down in the price list. Why are these people not in jail? How long will they use the public as the source of illegal profit? Who is going to regulate these people, and who is going to go into the markets and keep a check on these people? we have got all these illegal practices on video also. My young colleague Adona, our reporter, was there. My colleague reporter Akre was there. You can see these people, they are literally selling poultry and meat at prices that have not been set by the municipal authorities. They have even admitted on TV that they don't know the DMC prices, and some are complaining that because they have to sell at a higher price because the wholesalers are the one who are exacting higher prices from them, and then there are the underground organizations who tax them. They have to sell at a higher price. But the question is this: just because they don't make profits out of their business, is it the responsibility of the public to be actually obliging them with their profit? Because we are not a welfare, we are not buying welfare services, we are buying a commodity here. So it's not like, oh, apni kan lap nai, extra it doesn't work that way. If the business doesn't work for you, I think you have every right to start a different business, a different business model where you can earn something decently. So I think we cannot blame the public for the business people not gaining any kind of profit from their sales. Those were the top news events of the week, ladies and gentlemen. Keep watching, and thank you for watching HornbillTV. I'm Ngullie. See you next time.